Welcome to this episode of Presentation Hell, podcasting from Embark Studios here in Tampa, Florida. Today we have Bianca Peynado as our guest. Welcome for being here. Thank you.
Thank you so much for hosting me.
Bianca is a special person. She's a young professional and advisor to Embark Collective. She's a vice president at one of the top banks in the country that we all know. And she's a founder of an organization that commits to this community on a rather unique way. And we'll talk about that. But Bianca, tell the crowd who we are and what's going on.
Thank you so much again for having me. I work at a bank and my title is vice president there. I work in technology data governance and also I've worked there for 9 years. And most of all, why I'm here is because I founded an organization and we raise the awareness of cyberbullying and we help victims overcome being cyberbullied. We empower the youth to also know how to deal with cyberbullying. And I'm really excited to be here today. Thank you so much for featuring our organization, for having me.
We'll go right into that. Is that all right? Thank you for coming here. We're over at Embark, by the way, and she has a special status here. The cyberbullying. We've heard of it. I know the term, I know what bullying is, but what are some specific examples that threaten the kids nowadays? Is I'm assuming what you're speaking about. Is it people coming into chat rooms and saying you're, nasty and this and that? What are some of the antics that go on that really are bad on society today?
I'd love to share this. Can I give a few examples?
Yeah, the mic's yours. That's why we're here.
All right. I'm excited to share because this is really interesting. I have a lot of parents that come up to me when I tell them what the cause is, and they give me examples of actually how their children have been affected. So I'm getting new ones every day. So one that I actually like to speak on, because it's actually a story that inspired me to create my own, is a little girl who was very unfortunately affected. There was a picture that was passed around of her, and she unfortunately at the end, trigger warning, tried to take her own life and was revived in the hospital, thankfully. But the way that she got there, she had multiple text messages from across the entire school, which means you're receiving 50 text messages at a time.
It started with a revealing photo.
A revealing
photo that was shared, a teenager, through text, through chat, or whatever. It hit high school.
Passed around.
Next morning, she came in and was the school slut, so to speak, the school laughing stock.
Those were the words used. Yes.
I kind of figured as much, and that's what went in. And what are the things that happened? What are the cascading? What's the period of time from the morning I came in? It's, February 10th, I walked in and my life has changed. How? Do I last through the end of March? Do I get through the whole school year? How do I get through this week? Tell me some more.
Yes,
I want the step by step. I want everyone to see, because if people are listening and they see one piece of it and you can talk about each of the pieces, it'll help them recognize something that probably should be picked up on sooner.
Right. Yes. So this is a very unique story. And I will say that Monica Lewinsky inspired me through her talk, Price of Shame. I actually saw her live at the Florida Women's Conference. She has a campaign on this. So this is a unique story. I'm giving her credit.
Well, she was shamed incredibly.
Yeah. You should watch the TED Talk that she posted of that, but I saw the extended, a very lovely talk that she gave in person. So all we can see in this unique story is that she's receiving these texts, I believe, through a week. So she's receiving all of these texts every single day for a week.
So starting, let's just say Monday morning, she comes in,
right.
The world has changed. I walk into homeroom and everyone's looking. Everyone's talking. It's bad. And my phone is now blowing up. Look at you. I can't believe it. Really? Right? This is...
Exactly.
And so day one, it just, a week goes by. Go ahead.
Right. And then I found this really touching for me specifically, and that I could empathize with, because eventually she, like I said, is continuously receiving these kinds of texts.
Did her grades fall off at that point? Did social engagement?
Right. This is where I empathize, because what she started to do is fake sick from school. And then you see that her mom is checking in on her like, oh, sweetie, do you feel okay?
She's nurturing
She's
someone
lying.
who's sick.
And then the girl is lying and like faking sick, and her mom buys it. And that's what happens.
And then
a lot.
she gets value out of that, because there's big value in that when people.
Right. Well, nurturing and caretaking. But the problem is, how much shame do you have as a young girl? That are you going to tell your mother why?
But now
Probably not.
Are you also shaming yourself because you're lying to your parents?
1,000%.
So it's more than just a one-way street. It's more than just I walk outside and it's all around me. But now I've started a campaign myself that in a way is bullying a loved one, because you're not really being honest with them about what's going on, and they're putting out effort to take care of you out of concern.
Right. And then the end of the story is where, of course, the parent has to get involved. It's terrible. But basically, this is another problem that I would like to speak on. It's not very clear how she received so many text messages, but what I can say, this happens for other children where a kid can get online and then it can be a weird website hosted through another country, and it automates text messages through multiple different numbers. It spits out multiple different numbers. So as a child, you think that about 100 different people in your school.
You're talking about basic outbound marketing employed by all the Fortune companies.
Right. And
okay, go on.
I love that your organization understands that very well.
Just saying.
Yeah, automation, great tool. But basically, that is detrimental. I mean, can you imagine 100 people telling you, once again, trigger warning for suicide, to go?
So this was happening,
yourself.
And she didn't know the people because there were just numbers coming in. I'm getting a number on WhatsApp. I don't know who the number is, but it tells me I'm a filthy whatever.
Yes.
And it shows an augmented picture and whatever else they can put forth.
Yes, and that's what differentiates this organization from a anti-bullying organization, because there are a lot of anti-bullying.
You mean the digital component of digital bullying?
Right.
That's the focus, is digital bullying.
Correct.
It's not, I'm looking at you and you're going to sit in the corner and not come out today. It is innuendo. It is character assassination. It is all of the things that degrade you as an internal human being, the pieces that are inside of you and cause you to, what you're saying, be pushed to the limit. I'm not going to say the limit. We'll get there. There's still more of the story coming up.
Yes, it's terrible. It's really, truly awful. So then, unfortunately, this person, this lovely little girl, you see her that she's not at school anymore. So you see an empty desk at school, which implies that it did work. Her mom didn't send her to school, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then there's continuous text. I am not sure on.
So this went on for a period of time. Like,
let's
it's one thing to play
2
sick.
weeks.
It's one thing to play sick for a day or 2 days, even a week. I think I've been victim of that when I was a kid. I think I played sick, but at a certain point, like, where's the like? Is there a point of mental change? Like, how? I don't know. I'm torn by it. Actually, what you're describing to me, I'm looking at it going like, how can I?
Right.
Continue.
And I would like to step away from that girl's story because I don't know the specific of days. Mm-hmm. Monica Lewinsky would. However, I'll speak on myself and the story that happened
she was actually intimidated by the most powerful person on the planet. And as a 20-year-old or 23-year-old or whatever it was, and as much as world history is, that is something that would have just played out all the time. And it's not the case. And obviously the power dynamic is the big issue in that whole thing. And she was treated like she was the one who did wrong. Right. Amazingly enough. Well, she had a big opponent in Mr. Clinton's wife, but that was a different issue altogether.
Yeah. Now that we're speaking of her, I would like to. Yeah, because we were going to go to my story, but her story is insane.
Okay, go. Continue on. We all know. Yeah.
Right. But why? I mean, she starts off her story in the funniest way. Her speech is like, you may have heard me from XYZ rap songs. Everyone laughs. Great opener. And then she begins on because people know her in those songs as something completely different, right? But she was originally one of the first victims of digital bullying.
I would say that's right at the turn of the century, right? Where the first email, the first first chats arrived? What was it? ICQ was one of the first ones, AOL chat and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, but oh my goodness, the original dial-up type websites. And
have you ever even heard
yes,
the dial-up of what it sounds like?
I have. Thank you very much. My father went to MIT for his master's, and he emigrated here actually. And my dad is very technologically savvy. He gave me my first computer at 4 years old.
Mm-hmm.
It was a big pink Mac computer. Credit to Steve Jobs and mostly Steve Wozniak that there. But
see, if you were here 6 months ago, you would have met one of them.
Brilliant Steve Wozniak. So with that being said, I know a lot about the AIM, AOL Instant Messenger, what dial-up used to look like, Roadrunner, all of that. So give me credit. I am a millennial. I'm not a Gen Zer here.
All right. Just asking. I'm just digging for, actual value equation and stuff.
Yeah. No, I really knew what she was talking about. However, this was a little bit, I was born in 94. So I'm not really sure what exactly she was going through and how it worked. But what I do know is she received those emails.
Yeah.
She received physical emails.
Yeah.
So
I'm sure her actual mail was full.
Yeah. No, I can't imagine. Yeah. Right. But what she did do is paint the story of her story as a 25-year-old. And she also has in her speech, raise your hand if you've ever done something you regret. And that's also something everyone in the room is raising their
everyone
hand
has
about.
some. We're all human. Yeah. And there's things that didn't go over well. And,
right. And then she, we all kind of feel weird. And then we kind of laugh because she sticks her hand up really high. And she said, I did this on a public stage with one of the most powerful men in the entire world. So a lot of people don't understand where she was at. But what I can tell you, and once again, this is suicide trigger warning for those of you who need to step away, but she actually was not allowed to be in her bathroom without the door open with her parents in her parents' house because they were afraid of what she might do. And I don't know the details of that story. That's for her to share. But can you imagine? I can't. I'm 30 years old, and that was 5 years ago for me when I was 25.
Well, take a moment. Just repeat those words. Imagine living in your house, and maybe I'll repeat it. Just imagine living in your house where someone you love is being mentally tortured on such a grand scale that your fear, if they get the chance to take a pee in private, they'll take their life.
Shower, bath.
And I was doing one of the most private things.
She mentioned, right. I mean, she mentioned it was a bath. Couldn't take a bath. Imagine that. So my parents had to go through not that extreme, but similar. My mom eventually told me. So I went to private Catholic school, and yes, I was raised in that environment. And that's uniquely why I think with my incident, there was such a small school that everyone had to know about it, right? But yeah, so it's hard because my parents really, and my mom revealed, they went through a lot, but she had to apparently advocate for me with the principal of the school and the dean, asking like I had missed enough school that I was almost about to be like a little bit.
Was this high school?
Questioned. High school. Okay. Yeah, I was 17. So my mom apparently, I mean, I wasn't at the point where I would have to be kicked out, but it was on the verge of if I kept skipping more school.
And this was the explosion of social media at that moment as well.
Right. And I'd really love to say we can switch over. So those were the automations of text messages I revealed. I'm not sure what happened to that girl, but I do know that happens, right? That girl specifically was receiving text. Now, my story is, and I'm a millennial, so some Gen Zers don't remember this day of Facebook, nor did they use it, but this was around 2011. Facebook was one of the only platforms that was really great for our age group. Instagram just came to be something that was widely used, I would say, for my generation around 2012. Yeah. So I got mine definitely my senior year of high school. And then that proceeded to college and then Snapchat, etc. But Facebook, this was unique because Facebook had a ticker where every millisecond you could see what people were doing. And you could see when someone liked a status. You could see when they commented.
So it was given
So everyone was receiving a live ticker on the bottom right, the top right, whatever of their
They
screen.
called that view of God.
It was bad.
Meaning you can view everything that's going on.
Right.
Of the other, like I know what you're doing when you're asleep and when you're not, when you're naughty and when you're nice.
Exactly.
That, and I just, right? Not to play up, on something we all know about, but still.
Right. Right.
Okay.
So that's why this story is also unique, because unfortunately my story was revealed to
Did you watch that like
people.
a stock ticker, like as it went up, as opposed to feeling rich, you felt poor?
Oh dear God, yes. Yes. Every single millisecond was almost like a heart, like a gunge to the
well, the fact that you said millisecond several times means you're getting updates so much.
Yeah. So yes. So it was a Facebook status that wasn't about me by someone I was friends with. It wasn't about me. It's what we used to call subtweeting, which is virtually like a subliminal message about someone that she was like upset with, right? This girl that I was friends with.
Hold it. What's subtweeting? I've never heard of subtweet.
Really? Well, now it's like subliminal sub-X.
Okay, sub-X. That sounds even worse, but I'm just saying, it sounds like we're going somewhere I haven't been yet.
It's like, let me just use an example. This is funny, but like, you're quoting a Drake quote on one of his sad songs, and it's, I don't know, about someone that hurt you. So you're saying like, I know you did wrong.
I get what you're talking about.
Wrong,
so you did me wrong, and then I start telling a story of being done wrong or whatever it is. My heart was broken.
It could be any sentence. It could be anything, really. But the point is that you're not using someone's real name. So it's a subliminal, anonymous type message. So basically,
it's about someone I don't know. I don't know them very well, but I can tell you.
If you're posting the tweet, then you know who it is. But anyone reading it doesn't necessarily know unless they know your story or whatever's going on, right? So this person posted that. I don't know what I commented, but I was friends with her at the time, the girl who posted it, right? And I didn't obviously reveal the name of the person. I don't know what I wrote. My mom sure does have a printout somewhere, though. And with that being said, then this girl who didn't know me very well, but we went to school together for 3.5 years at this point. She knew what I thought was my best friend for many years. And she decided to start ripping me apart, writing rumors that she had heard over and over and over again. And she thought it was funny.
Innuendo, gossip, character assassination.
You did this, your ex-boyfriend dumped you, and then you tried to, like, you hated your best friend, and there's more details.
Why don't you go kill yourself?
That didn't happen. But what I
will say that.
Yeah, no, this one's really funny. So a man, a little boy at the time, but to this day, he asked me out on a date all the time. And I look at him and I tell exactly the quote that I will never forget. That's like, you should go hit this girl. Like, you should go fight her. Go fight her. And I was like, now when you ask me on a date, you told a little girl to physically assault me as a little girl. No, I will not, never go on a date with you.
So the same people who were bullying you as a younger person now, as time goes by, says, you're someone I want to go on a date and spend some time with and find out if you're a reasonable human being for me as a reasonable human being and wants to do that. Right.
Yeah, that's funny, isn't it? Sometimes they say trauma is something that you can never forget. There are some things I remember when I was 5 years old that, like the computer, right? And then there's things that I remember as a 17-year-old. And then some people say they can't remember what they ate for breakfast yesterday, right? But I won't ever forget that night that this happened to me. But shooting forward in the story.
How did you know that statement came from him?
Because it was his profile.
Oh, no, because his profile was the profile who said it.
Exactly.
Okay, right.
I was thinking like,
that's
even
I was
worse,
thinking
right?
the word, well,
I
it means they're names. Not really brilliant, I guess.
Yes, this wasn't Instagram. this yeah, where you can create anonymous profiles on Instagram. You can be whoever you want to be. But
that if you create an anonymous profile, there's malice involved.
Exactly.
In my humble opinion.
Right, but we didn't have that. So they were using their own profiles and they didn't care that they were known. So that made it even worse. So the story ends with, her attacking me and then me being like, do you want to meet up somewhere? Why are you doing this? And then I started
it almost turned into a real fist fight. It almost real showdown behind school after at 3:00. Right. Meet me in the parking lot type of thing.
Yeah. And then
Did you beat her ass?
No.
Oh, okay. Did she do that to you?
No.
Okay, just making sure.
Let me tell you, I
want to get to the action here. Keep going.
Yeah, let's move forward. So next day, I show up to school. This is a private school that is smaller, and it's connected by outdoor hallways, multiple buildings. Almost picture a very
See,
small...
now I'm not going to ask you where you grew up exactly because it would just...
Tampa.
Oh, in Tampa. We're okay. So we're
Yes.
here in Tampa. Tampa's a wonderful place, by the way.
We love it.
Okay, keep going. I have to throw that in whenever I hear the word.
Right. Oh, yeah. Picture palm trees. It's a beautiful campus, right? So then I show up to school. And my mom took me through the entrance that's close to the principal's office. So it looked like mommy told on me, right? Or told on the girl, whatever. And then I start walking.
So you went through the perp walk. Everyone saw you.
Oh my gosh.
You're walking through the cell block on your way in knowing you're a rat.
Yes. No.
Okay. Well, no, you're not.
They didn't know. They didn't know. Guess what they did? They gave me a round of applause. And let me tell you, there were definitely at least 100 kids outside.
When the round of applause was because you stood up and faced it, or what was the round of applause for? What was the reasoning?
I couldn't tell you. All I will say is they thought it was funny that I was bullied the night before, and they were giving me a round of applause that I showed up to school the next day.
All right.
So
well, you turned into a celebrity, not in a good way, not in whatever. I mean, that's what happens. Yeah. I bet you every single person in that school remembers who you are, sadly enough.
I will say people have come up to me in the most
endearing ways and horrible ways at the same time. No?
They're like, I'm sorry for what happened to you. I'm at a bar and that's the last thing I want to talk about.
I'm sorry what happened to you, and I was nowhere near it.
Yeah.
I didn't perpetrate it, but you know.
It's really fun. But what I will say at the end of this is that I was not the girl that wanted to give up at that point in time. I had been the girl.
Are you giving up now? You don't look like a girl who's giving up.
No. But okay, I had been. Just saying. When I was 16, I actually was really depressed because all that stuff had happened to me. The stuff that the girl was calling me out for, that the rumors had been spread, but by someone who was my best friend at the time.
We all saw Mean Girls. I get what's going down.
Gosh, yeah. The specifics are almost worse in our modern day times.
I think they are much worse because it's the things that
there's no burn book. It's spread around like wildfire.
No, it's published
Thousands
in a minute.
Of your followers or whatever.
And your parents' followers see this.
Oh gosh, yeah. Your parents are very involved in stories. So yes. It was a very terrible time, but I was not someone that was going to give up. So what I did is I told my parents after we all received demerits and like all these things that our school, private Catholic school,
demerits are being reprimanded at school, something that doesn't really happen anymore.
Right. I received it. The girl who did it received it. And then the girl who was my ex-best friend who apparently fed the rumors. I do not know how they found out all of this. I don't know where the other best friend was in the picture because she didn't comment on anything. But there's that. And then there's a story that actually someone at my company revealed to me in my day-to-day job, full-time job, not my nonprofit, that they had said that as a parent, their child had been cyberbullied. And there was a video that was recorded and it was passed around. It was live streamed in front of I don't know how many followers each of those people had. Snapchat, Instagram.
Well, everything multiplies really quick right now, especially if it's got good emotion in it. If it's got good emotion, that's fire.
Right. And I don't know if I should reveal the specifics, but they're anonymous. But basically, this is really unique. Mm-hmm. It was a fake coming out story. They had had balloons that said you're coming out.
I'm gay coming out. Is that what we're talking about?
Right.
Okay. So they were planning a coming out party.
Right. And
this is in high school.
This is in high school. And
was it a setup?
It was a setup.
Okay.
So this person didn't know what was going to happen, this child, right?
And back then it was much more of a.
This is actually a couple years ago.
Oh, okay. Go on. All right. I thought you were talking 2010.
Okay. No, because Snapchat is something that we were using way later on, and the kids use now. I don't even use Snapchat much now, but the kids definitely do.
The fact that you refer to them as the kids, it says something.
Right.
Keep going.
I'm 30. But yeah, so that is very interesting because that person, apparently the child, is not known to be gay. They are apparently not.
Why did they become the target?
Because it was funny.
No, but
they were their best friends. They
there
were
was a
all
bus.
best friends.
It was a bunch of guys going, Bob's gay.
Right.
Look, Bob's, and it turns into more than just that.
Right, and it was very well. I mean, applause to those kids for making it so realistic. They must be great actors. I don't know.
They have a future. You never know.
Yeah, marketing.
People tell stories. We all live by stories. People buy stories better than they buy the truth.
Right.
Just look around. Well, look at the stuff we buy. It's usually crap. The truth sits there empty with no one lined up to get it.
I love that. Yes. So those were 3 examples. I believe we had the girl that was described in the campaign that Monica Lewinsky put out.
Mm-hmm.
She was executive producer on that campaign. So that's why she shared the video after her speech that in the Florida Women's Conference that I attended.
Well, how big? Let's talk about how big is your organization? Who does it affect? How can we offer it to someone who might need some support? How do they find you? What is it? What offer it up. This is why you're here.
Right. So I do have a website. It's roadblockfoundation.org. So that's how you can find the site and what we do. And then hopefully you can find me through the website, right? And I do have social media.
So, all right, on that note, I'm feeling some of this right now. I come to your website, which is Roadblock, say it one more time.
Roadblockfoundation.org.
Roadblockfoundation.org. Now I go there. I want help. What do I click on? What's in my face that says support me? You know what I mean? Where do I go? Is there a contact Bianca? Is that what, like, is there a button who says that? Be as offering up a new bank account to someone, how easy you'd make it.
It's a form that you it's a simple form that says your name. Do you want to reach out? And then you write your text. But I think that we're starting out as simple as we can because
no problem with simple. It's effective is what we're looking for is just being able to get information out.
Right. So you could do that as of now to keep it very organized with our website and the reach out in terms of engagement.
How do you plan on expanding this into a way that, because obviously this type of bullying goes in every single school, it's been around forever and ever and ever and ever, in those innuendo, gossip, character assassination is all the things of attacking a person outside of actually physically attacking them.
Right. So
just saying, so as such, it is prevalent across everywhere. So do you have plans to make this something that really supports people on a larger scale than just here in Tampa?
Of course, yes. So there are multiple pillars of the way that we'd like to attack this problem. One being school programs, and this will hopefully expand to multiple different generations of schooling type, middle school, elementary, high school. And I won't give details on the specifics of the program because that's what makes us unique until we actually launch them. So I would like to help children. I would love to also be able to establish programs with parents on how to see cyber and social media type attacks and also the signs in their children when they're sad and what's going on.
There's a company here that makes a lot of educational programs for Pearson and big media companies that probably you could leverage to help make some of that support. I don't know their name offhand, but I do know.
Yeah, I'm not.
That's what Embark's all about.
I'm not sure if you're talking about Cope Notes or NAC.
Not Cope. Cope Notes is an individual thing, which is growing well, but it might be the other one.
NAC with
NAC.
K.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the name is.
Samir founded that. They do have university programs, so I love his shout out. But yes, of course, I'm really excited to be on the Young Professionals Board of Embark Collective. It's going to be really exciting.
Yeah, well, tell me about what does that mean to you? I love Embark Collective, by the way. This is a wonderful place. This is a fertile foundation for any entrepreneurial mind who wants to go out and do something right and not be shut down and destroyed by mild-mannered, overeducated, ignorant people. This does not have them here. This has good, open-minded people who will let you survive, let you thrive, and let you fail so that you learn. I don't know if that was a diatribe, but it sounded good.
Yes. The CEO of this organization would be so happy to hear this advocacy. So it means a lot to me because I love helping founders all over the world. Nonetheless, in Tampa Bay, I think that I'm so excited for this region to grow. I'm so excited what Embark is doing and what the other startup accelerators are doing in the area. But I've always wanted to help any startup founder. I've interviewed them myself. I've done in-person panel discussions. All I want to do, my life goal, is help innovators as well.
So that's why you reached out here to get involved. You took the steps to come here. Did you? We have to shake you down and find the best talent out there and say, you got to come over here and help us.
Actually, I did a marketing workshop here at Embark Collective. It was by a third party. And my friend actually dragged me to go to that. We didn't know it would be 3 hours, but lovely enough. It was wonderful. I loved it. And then I met Kate at your organization.
Kate's wonderful. So Kate and then Samir, and that's what dragged you in here?
No, we were in a focus group together, me and Kate. It was great.
Here? Or
it was here. Okay, it was physically at Embark Collective.
All right. What were you focusing on?
We were talking about, I believe we all created an example of some of the marketing tactics that we would use for the full year. So we were sharing different ideas with each other of what we came up with.
And just so you know, Kate is producing the podcast today, sitting right nearby.
We love her.
Thank you, Kate.
Thank you so much. So Kate mentioned that I'm not sure the exact context, but that you all had a podcast and that was part of your marketing strategy. And then she asked me when we were in the focus group if I'd like to be featured, and that was an honor.
Oh, good. That's wonderful. I'm glad you're here. You've shared an incredible story. Now, I know we've gone way over what we planned on talking about, but it was really a lot of character being put out. You were very candid. You brought things forward, that honest emotion, which drives motion. And you brought that to the table here today, and I appreciate that. This episode today with wonderful Bianca Peynado is about to come out. I was going to say Bianca Peynado. Is that? Are you?
Sí.
Do I say it properly?
I'm a Latina. It's Peynado, and then it's Peynado.
Which one? It's Peynado.
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure. But
yes, thank you.
Miss Peynado is here because of presentation management, Shuffler, and presentation hell. We bring management to presentations for global organizations, and it's as easy as getting the download for Windows off of our website, and you can be more efficient with your presentation in minutes. So let's come back to our show here and finish up. Bianca, do you have anything else you'd want to say to the audience? You want to wrap this up? How you want to say it?
Sure. You can find us through roadblockfoundation.org. And if you are a victim of cyberbullying, I would love to help you. So please reach out. And you can also reach out to me personally through my social media accounts, which is my full name, Bianca Peynado. I'd love to help you for real.
Thank you very much. And I appreciate you giving everyone in the audience real support and services. Thank you for coming here today. Thank you for being a part of Embark. Thank you for your story. And thank you for listening to Presentation Hell podcast from Embark Studios here in Tampa, Florida.